Hey there, and welcome to today's video, where we are going to transform Magnolia Blossoms to, I initially called it a community center, but this is really gonna end up being more like a town hall sort of area. So this is listed as a park, and by listing it as a park, there's a few things that are required to make it be a park. Among them, I believe it was just some chess tables, some barbecues, some benches, some playground stuff, but I really went the extra mile here because this is using the resident services building that we built last time, and that's from Animal Crossing. So I figured, why don't we try to make this kind of like a mini Animal Crossing lot? Now, what I mean with that is I wanted to have some cliffs. It was going to be difficult with the wall height, so I ended up putting some debug stones, which are pretty high. I wanted to have an area to fish, which I wanted it to also look like a river and be functional as a fishing area. So, unfortunately, since you can't change the water, you can tell that there's a difference. But the fishing area is functional, and there is a bit more water along the way, so I'll call that a win in this case. Along with the Animal Crossing feel, I wanted to have a lot of flowers everywhere and a lot of green areas, but then again, there was only so much space that I had, and I didn't want it to all just be gardens or all just be barbecues. So I tried my best here and there, and I filled up a lot of the space mainly with trees, so it could blend in with the background. And in Magnolia Blossoms, they actually did have a lot of trees as well, so I thought to keep that going. So if you saw my resident services building, you can see that in there's going to be a laptop if your sim for whatever reason really needs one when they're here. But that is the only computer that's available in this lot. But I did add another building that's going to have some bathrooms in it, because I figured being a community lot, a lot of townies are going to be in here, and I figured it was going to be really annoying if your sim is the one that needs to use the bathroom and there's none available. So to make sure there's enough of everything, I put a lot of bathrooms, but I also put quite a few barbecues and I put quite a few chess tables, so I'm hoping that's enough to be okay when you're playing. I did get a chance to play test it a bit since I was very curious on whether the fishing spots still worked with everything that I put around it, and they do. So for that, there's plenty of areas to fish. There's quite a few chess tables, which I'm hoping again that they work. I even end up putting a few easels here and there, and the rest is very decorative. So your Sims needs are going to be fine. There's plenty of barbecues in the town hall itself. There's a little kitchenette, so there is a fridge and a microwave in case you don't have any money and you need to grab a quick meal, for example. And there were a lot of debug items that I used here and there. So I'm hoping that while your sim is here, all their needs are taken care of. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's even benches all over the place, so if they need a nap, there's also plenty of spaces they can do that. I was really wondering what else to put in here since I didn't want to just put a garden. Magnolia Blossoms had gardens here and there, but I really wanted your sim to have things to do while they were here. I didn't want it to just be a place to come and meet townies if that's what you typically use parks for. I wanted it to be a place that had a little bit of everything. And I think I succeeded. At the end of the day, you do have a lot of different skill building areas. It's been a couple weeks since I built resident services, and I can't remember if there is a bookshelf. I want to say that there was supposed to be utility shelves, which I don't have in base game, and I ended up putting some bookshelves. So I think every skill is covered except for anything to do with music. But you have easels, you have chess tables, you have the computer, which covers a lot of skills, and you have the bookshelf and mirrors. So if you're looking for a skill building place, I'm pretty sure this area will have a lot of what you're looking for. Among the things that I play tested, I also did test the bathrooms just to make sure that they worked. But a lot of what this build was digging through debug, which, surprise, surprise, and copying and pasting a lot for the bathrooms, surprisingly enough. There's a bathroom in the town hall itself, but I ended up making 8 additional bathrooms without realizing how big the space was. But I really liked the look of it since it kind of looked like a mini town hall. And if we're being real here, with this being a public space, I highly doubt that whoever's working in the town hall would let you use their own bathroom. There are public bathrooms for a reason. I finished up the park by adding paths here and there to make sure that all the areas were connected in some way, shape, or form. If this was an actual park, you would probably stick to the path instead of just walking on the grass everywhere. And believe it or not, those little fences, and believe it or not, those little poles that I have around resident services, they are one of the few debug items that actually do limit your Sims pathways. So I was considering putting that absolutely everywhere there were paths to make sure your Sims only got out of the path in certain areas. But when you're actually playing it, I figured that was going to be really annoying. So I decided to go against that and ended up just decorating here and there. I put some lights to define the space, but I didn't make it completely restricted so your sim can go wherever they need to go. As far as some of the decisions and decorations that I put here and there, I was very much inspired by what I have on my island in Animal Crossing. In front of my resident services, for example, since it's actually quite close to the edge of my island, I ended up putting a fountain and I put some benches so the villagers can sit down. So I very much drew inspiration from that when I was building this, but at the end of the day, to make it a park in The Sims, there are some additional items that you need, which I have some of them in my island, but I don't have them exactly where I would have put them here. But I think you can definitely see the inspiration from Animal Crossing, and I think it's a very functional space for your Sims. I would say it's been a pretty successful mix between the two games. But anyways, we are getting close to the end of the video, so I want to know what you think of this build. It's not often that I build community lots, but I think I actually enjoy them quite a bit since it is a place where you're going to see random townies instead of just having your family be playing in for a while. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great weekend.